What's up, AfterBuzzers? We're back with another episode of the American Ninja Warrior After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. We're talking the Cleveland Qualifiers. Cleveland rocks. So do we. So do you. Stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I fixed it just in time. Oh, there we go. Let's get some MC Chris going. We talk about it every week. You know, let's really let it simmer. Let's get the dance party in here.
I'm a hoodie ninja.
There you go. You got it. By the end of the season, Amy's going to be able to karaoke this song.
Ooh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get more into it.
masking
Guys,
tape.
this is not Lucha Underground After Show. This is the American Ninja Warrior After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. We're talking the 5th round of city qualifiers. That's right, we're talking about Cleveland. My name is Ty Matthews. You guys can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Joining me as always,
Hello.
the very lovely, very talented. Her nails are on point. I don't know if you guys can see. Show them
thank
off.
you.
Show them babies off. Guys, you can find her online at AmyCassandra_TV because she's Amy Cassandra.
That is very true.
That is your name.
Everything you said is true.
That is your, not, I mean, is it your, it's not your birthday.
Well, it's my first and
We're
middle
going
name.
behind the candelabra.
Behind the camera. Yes, that is my first and middle name.
There you
so
go.
That's what I go by.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a fun story to that, but I'll save that for later.
I confused a lot of people at the studio when I started hosting here because I don't go by Ty in real life. Did I just blow your mind? Guys, manning the ones and twos, Mr. Mark Donica. You can find him online at Mark B. Donica. Is he Mark B. Donica?
Yeah, it's me. This show's going to be really weird because I haven't done it in a while. Hi, Amy. Hi, Ty.
There you, hello.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Enjoy
I'm so
the show.
excited.
That's it. No, normally there's another syllable to my name in IRL, in real life.
Hashtag lure.
Hashtag Lur.
Lur?
Yes.
Tyler?
There you go.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I
Ty
like
is for the
calling-
wrestling folks.
Are we part of the wrestling folks?
Well,
'Cause
you
we-
are now that you've binge watched Glow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. 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 So good. Guys, if you haven't seen it, please do watch it. Allison Brie, you're awesome.
And then tune into our after show Sunday on AfterBuzz TV.
There you go.
Yes.
It's all about brand synergy, you guys. Remember, speaking of synergy, if you're on iTunes, leave us a comment, download, review, subscribe, rate, 5 stars if you're nasty. If you're on YouTube, thumbs up, comment. Let's all talk about Ninja Warrior. That's right. That's right. Let's talk these Cleveland qualifiers. Let's dissect the course.
Let's do it.
As
I have
we
the
always
giggles
do.
today, I think.
Do
I don't know.
you?
Starting,
You better keep it locked up.
Well, starting with your mic that decided to freak out
This, fool.
right before
Oof,
we
doofa.
went on. Yeah, okay.
Let's
Starting
talk
with,
about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk floating steps.
starting with the floaty steps,
Floating steps.
as always.
Then we got the rolling log,
Mm-hmm.
where ninjas will have to grip. They'll have to wrap their arms and legs around a log and roll down a 25-foot track while not managing to get whipped into the water.
And
Violently.
get insanely dizzy,
And there's also that.
which is crazy, insane, because right after that is Razor's Edge. And people need to be super balanced on that. And you just have to...
Right.
It's a
right.
24-foot...
Describe the razor's edge for us, Amy.
Darn. Okay, I'm going to do my best. Let's do this. There are 3 sort of razors. How would you describe those things?
Panes?
Panes, thank you. There are 3 panes, and they're 24 feet across, and the goal is just to make it across as fast as possible without falling. Or, I mean, if you can do it slowly, that's fine. Just the goal is to not fall.
Right. That's the important part.
That's the important part.
Right.
And, of course,
Much
you have
like
to,
the broken bridge.
Yes. So this is especially difficult after coming from the rolling log, because the rolling log, as we saw, is just insane.
It'll
Like,
do
you
a number
saw-
on your equilibrium, even just watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a washing machine. Kind of
like a washing machine.
washing machine, I think I meant to
No,
say.
you got it. Check
yeah.
the gate. Moving on.
Yeah. So Razor's Edge is that. And
Got
then
it.
after that we've got,
The ring jump.
yes, we do.
Ring jump. Oh boy. Oof. The ring jump. So we've got ninjas will have to grip onto a 24-inch ring. They'll have to hop it over these pegs. Some of them are 10 inches. Some of them are 8 inches. After hopping up one series of ascending pegs, they'll have to switch their grip to another ring and then do the same thing on a set of descending pegs.
Gosh, you're
That's
so
the rings?
good
That's
at
the
that.
pegs.
That
Thank
was
you.
so very well explained. Yes.
Thank you. This is one of the easier ones. After the ring jump, we've got the I-beam gap.
Dun,
this,
dun, dun.
This one's going to be a little bit trickier to describe, y'all. So we've got a ledge. We've got a ledge. Horizontal ledge.
Yes.
Ninjas will have to hang from this ledge upside down using their hands and feet. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Mark Donica. Churlish.
Oh, I love that it trailed up a little bit.
We've got... Now, there are these little gaps in the ledge that they'll have to... I hate you so goddamn much. That they'll have to navigate around. Once they get past that first horizontal ledge, they'll have to pull their body up a vertical edge, turn 180 degrees, bridge a gap that's 6.5 feet long, and then do the same thing in reverse.
Did you say the ledge
I hope you guys got that.
The ledge is only like 2 inches or so? And this is all about grip strength for sure, and all kinds of strength in your body, because we did see some people use at the very end of that obstacle just hang from their hands,
right?
Their thumb,
and the part that seemed like it gave people the most trouble was the very end of that first horizontal ledge, really pulling their upper body up to try and get vertical to bridge that gap. That seemed like it was giving people the most trouble.
And you would think that it'd be hopping from one ledge to the other because that's 6.5 feet. And some people were tall enough to just like...
It seemed like on paper, 6.5 feet seems like so long to jump for a gap. Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Who knows?
And then after that, we have the warped wall.
There you go.
14.5 feet high.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got it.
And that wraps up the obstacles.
That's our show, guys.
guys.
Join us for Denver. See ya. No, yeah. So that's our course.
No, I missed it.
He was playing our outro music.
You said you were done.
That's the joke.
But
So, a little bit of ringing with Castle.
oh, see giggles. Okay.
So now that we've just dissected the course, let's get into our ninjas for tonight. Do you have any? I know you like to categorize the ninjas sometimes. Do you have any groups that they seem to fall into tonight?
Yeah, couples. Couples. We had
Sure.
2 couples today.
Sure, absolutely.
And it was so sweet. So sweet. Starting with Alyssa Beard. So she is from Massachusetts. She's a 5th grade teacher. She is dating James McGrath. She's also part of the Fantastic Four.
Absolutely, yeah, and we'll get into the Fantastic Four. These 4 female competitors that have really kind of made an impact on American Ninja Warrior. We've got Jessie Flex Labreck. We've got Alyssa Beard. We've got
Hold on. There was
Michelle
one
Warnky.
that didn't.
We've got Michelle Warnky, who her father also competed tonight. We'll talk about her dad, Chris Warnky, later on tonight. And of course, God, who's the 4th?
Wait, she did make it through.
Uh-huh.
There was one that didn't. Hold on.
Was it Annika Nishala? Was that the 4th of the Fantastic Four? I believe that was.
I think so.
Really, I'm so sorry.
I have all the notes in here, guys, because there's so many people.
There's
so much information.
Some might say we take too many notes.
But better to have too many. Yes.
Annika Nishala, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yes.
These Fantastic Four. Now, we also hanging conspicuously over the Cleveland course is the fact that no female up until this episode had hit a buzzer this season. So it's don't give it away with that smile.
What smile?
Phenomenal.
I do not know what you're talking about.
So let's talk about these couples.
Okay.
Let's talk about James the Beast McGrath. Let's talk about Alyssa Beard. We talked a little bit. I mean, we've talked a lot about it these past few weeks. The fact that these ninja couples they get a lot of mileage out of training together and out of spending a lot of time in these ninja gyms.
They get to bond.
Of course.
And now these 2 met in Vegas. And what happened in Vegas did not stay in Vegas. And that was the relationship. It started there, and now it's here everywhere. That did not work out as cool as I thought it would. But he said it.
I was just going to let you die on that vine.
The Beast said it, and yeah, he said it.
The Beast!
The Beast. Yeah, so it was really sweet because there's so much support that comes from going through the training process, even just with friends, but to have, a partner to do it with.
Sure.
And they were rooting each other. And what's really nice is both couples, they went back to back. So,
Oh, right. There you go.
yeah, so we had Alyssa and then we had James. Alyssa was the first woman. I kept writing person, but she wasn't the first person to hit the buzzer.
Not tonight. No.
She wasn't?
I don't. No, she
No,
was.
she was. She was both. She
I'm a
was
big-
both,
I'm a big fat
actually.
liar.
So
Yes.
I even wrote, oh my God, first woman to hit buzzer. She is the 6th woman in history to climb the warped wall.
There you go.
So I was super excited for her. I screamed. I jumped up and down. Definitely one of my favorites because she was just talking about how women can do it, and it's the same thing that we've seen in the past seasons where it's like, yeah, women power. Like, we can do it just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done.
Right, and that's got to be intimidating when competitors like Jessie Graff haven't even hit buzzers this season.
Yeah, and Casey.
And Casey
too.
Catanzaro, of course.
So yeah, she went and she was the first woman to also make it past the ring jump, which proved to be one of the deadlier.
And of course, using that backwards approach on the ring jump as well, on that first ascending series of pegs, that I can't even wrap my head around physically doing that.
See, it's hard enough to do it facing forward.
Right.
Because you know how high up you have to go and have
Right.
to jump, but you're going backwards. She was the first person to do that, and then we saw other people follow in her footsteps.
Exactly. But yeah, the fact that she didn't even budge on the log roller, didn't even stumble on the razor's edge. I mean, she really, really had an awesome showing.
Oh yeah, super proud of her. And then of course, her boyfriend James McGrath was rooting for her right from the sides, and then it was his turn. He did it. He stepped across the I-beam, basically.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. The I-beam gap. Now, it's a 6.5 foot gap. Obviously, a lot of people will be kind of jumping and turning 180 degrees in midair.
So he's 6'2".
Right. Right. So he was able, and he is a yoga enthusiast, a yogi, maybe, if you will.
Yes.
Or is that just people that teach yoga? I don't know.
No.
Just any practitioner of yoga? Okay, so he's a 6'2" yogi.
Yeah.
And he very, very Spider-Man-esque, much like a Spider-Man. He stretches his legs across this gap to avoid having to jump, and then manages to hold himself up for long enough to reach across to the other side.
What do you think really goes into staying up like that? I mean,
it's all of the strength and all of the exertion has to be in your legs, pushing against the walls as much as you can, and then a lot of core strength in keeping your body upright.
gosh, that's just insane to me.
Right?
That was one of the obstacles that I thought, there's no way someone can do that. Like, they messed up. There's no way.
Well, and they got a pretty good, a decent amount into the episode before we finally saw someone get past it. You know, I think we saw compilations of people falling not just on the obstacle, but before they even reached that gap in between.
Yeah, trying to loop up vertically.
Right.
But yeah, so he made it through 3 minutes 22 seconds.
There we go.
The other couple was Sarah Poulin, and Mike Bernardo. Couple.
I don't know if they were a couple.
Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?
I don't think they were.
I put a heart.
I don't think they were a couple.
They're not a couple.
No.
They're not a couple. I just put a heart because
you liked them.
Because I like them.
No, the other
See,
couple is Jessie Flex LeBron.
There we go. I was like, what are you talking about? Well, moving on. Okay,
So
we've got.
wait, you just liked them?
I like them. They have very touching stories, and I put a heart. I did. I put a heart because Ty likes to ask, well, which ones were your favorite? So I put a heart, but that was misleading because I also put a heart with the couples. Don't do that again.
You need a more efficient note-taking
I know.
system. So let's talk about
next
Jessie
couple-
Flex LeBrec and Chris DeGangi.
Okay, are we gonna start? Well, he went first.
He went first. He made it to the national finals 5 years ago, but hasn't made it since.
Why? Like, why?
I mean, well, that's the thing. The courses and the obstacles are kind of constantly evolving. So if you make it one year, there's zero guarantee that you're going to make it the next year, because where one course might be predicated on upper body strength, on core strength, the next year's course might be predicated on grip strength or maybe balance, stuff like that. It's completely different wheelhouses, different skill sets.
Which is crazy
Right.
because, I mean, it's never guaranteed.
Right, absolutely. You could make it 7 years in a row, and there could be a brand new course with brand new obstacles that completely throws a curveball at you.
That is true. He made it through. But more importantly, Jessie was amazing. I wrote, you can be my witness, ring jump, yo.
Giant letters.
Giant letters. She skipped a bunch of pegs.
A lot of pegs. Almost the entire first half of that ring jump.
That was insane. We'd seen other people skip pegs.
Right, skip a couple.
Yeah, like max maybe 4, I
Right.
think is what. But it looked like she just jumped, like, whoa, like she levitated in a way.
Right, exactly.
Which was crazy. And she finished in 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
Absolutely. And with that, we had never had 2 women hit the buzzer on the same night ever before.
I know.
So a lot of firsts tonight, a lot of records being broken, a lot of history being made by the female competitors in Cleveland.
I know. I was so proud of them. And even like for the ladies that did fall, you could still tell, there was so much, we'll get into some of that later, but there was so much heart behind it, and there was so much strength.
Absolutely.
Just to get, I mean, honestly, even past the floating steps, we saw someone that, showed how difficult those are.
Oh God, yes,
Just, like,
absolutely.
holding on for dear life.
Right.
So.
I think, people only have a misconception about that obstacles because there are so many amazing ninjas that make it look easy. But I think the default is struggling with that.
It's hard.
Not everyone can be like a Daniel Gill, just hopping with 1 foot from step to step.
Pretty much, yeah.
But we talked about Chris DeGangi. He made it to the national finals 5 years ago. We had a lot of other veterans. So let's talk about the weatherman, Joe Moravsky.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I liked him.
He's one of the best. Not one of the best, but kind of one of those names that continues to pop up season after season in American Ninja Warrior. He's always got his family there, which made it so heartbreaking when we hear that story about his Uncle Rob passing away so suddenly. So a lot of what he's doing it for Uncle Rob. Not only that, he's doing it for his wife Stephanie, who is pregnant. I think they said this was the first time that she wasn't able to be on the sidelines, so she's watching via FaceTime, of course. But Joe Moravsky is one of those guys. There are a lot of guys that I talk about on the show, like I said, like Daniel Gill, guys like that, guys like Grant McCartney, that seem to be bulletproof, that it seems like it's just kind of a foregone conclusion that they'll make it through. And I think Joe Moravsky is one of those. The fact that he finished this whole course in just over 2.5 minutes.
I know.
He finishes in 2:32. He's hit a buzzer every single time that he's been in a city qualifier, and that's got to be good for momentum, but it's also got to be a lot of pressure.
When we've seen how pressure can really take a toll on a ninja, because like you said, also none of the obstacles are the same. You just never know what's coming, so he really has to take that into consideration and be careful when he's making his way through the course. But at the very end. So he hit the buzzer, and then his friend threw his phone
I forgot about that.
up to him with his what? I mean, his what?
Up to the top of the warped wall.
I was like,
with his wife inside of it.
What? I mean, my first thought was like, how did he catch it?
Right.
And thank goodness that phone did not fall at any point.
If it had hit the edge.
Like, it's just like, wow.
Thank God he wasn't on top of one of the obstacles with a pool of water.
Yeah. I was like, okay. All right,
that's
I want to do that. That's a ninja move, too.
Screw the course. That's confidence, being able to catch a phone thrown 14.5 feet in the air. That's also a massive phone.
This is
Jesus.
massive. But yeah.
Right.
So that was fun to watch too.
Right, absolutely. So we've also got there are a lot of other veterans. We've got Jamie Rahn, the NBC Ninja, and I think it's a testament to how easy he must have made the course look that they didn't even show his entire run.
No, it's just yeah, he made it.
The fact that he can be that colorful with hair that green and call the NBC Ninja, and they have a 15-second, oh yeah, Jamie finished the course, he's good. He must have made it look so easy that there was just nothing to talk about.
They're like, oh, he
Oh.
made it past that one. Oh, it's really difficult.
Well,
but he just breezed through it.
Oh, no, I guess not for
That's
this
it.
guy.
Oh, wow, that was
okay,
fast. It's
okay,
over.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and good for him. We saw lots of people kind of get what is it? Not hurt by the rolling log.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because you could see
Like eliminated by the rolling log? Or like physically hurt?
It's not the deadliest one.
No.
No.
It's not the deadliest warrior.
It's not. It's not. But just to see them come out of that, it was just like.
It's jarring. Like I said, it's jarring just to look at it
Mm-hmm.
because that G-force and the momentum gets so extreme that you're like, oh, if they fall, it's gonna hurt, and if they make it, they're not gonna be all there.
It was cool though. Some of them would come out and just be like,
Right.
guys, like that
exactly.
was crazy.
Well, and with obstacles like this, a lot of times we'll see people like counterspin. They'll spin in the other direction to try and sort of restore their equilibrium.
Which is super smart.
It's very creative,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Um,
But let's talk about some more of the longtime veterans that we've seen. You mentioned Mike Bernardo. Let's talk about Mike Bernardo.
Mm-hmm.
37 years old. This dude's, pardon my language, this dude's a brick shit house.
Machine Gun Mike.
He's Machine Gun Mike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A good night for good nicknames, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember yours. Do you remember yours?
Mine was it Mr. Spectacular?
AfterBuzz is Mr. Spectacular. I'll never forget.
It's very important.
There you go.
But he's called Machine Gun Mike for the sound that he makes on the salmon ladder, because he manages to get past it so fast.
Yeah.
Right?
I wish we had that and that obstacle. In
A
this
salmon
one.
ladder at the studio?
Well, that too.
Can
That
we
too.
get Kevin on the phone? Let's make this happen.
Let's do it.
I'm on it.
Yay! But so this was his first time competing. Well, this is the first time that American Ninja Warrior has been in Cleveland.
Right. His
So-
first time running in his hometown.
Yeah, and there's something to say about that. You know, having the entire support of your hometown behind you and having all of that. But he was competing for his dad, who's battling pancreatic cancer. And it was nice. I mean, he's been there for so many times, but he's never really brought his dad there.
Right. And I think, it seemed like that was the distinction that he had made, is that he had done it before and his dad had seen him do it, but he hadn't like done it for his dad, you know, like that. And I loved their story, and I loved the fact that his dad said that they're not necessarily an affectionate family. They're not huggers, they're not kissers, but they know that love is there. You know, so it's interesting seeing how that dynamic kind of plays out. You know, even just the shot of them watching footage of the course together, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a very kind of quiet, reserved, but it's a powerful connection.
And it was nice to see his dad. Like, I love when they show families' reactions as they're competing and like going through the obstacle course,
Right,
because
right.
of course, as viewers, we're freaking out, and
Right.
we don't even know them personally, so you can only imagine what it's like to be there,
Of course.
to be related to them, or you know, be their friend, and to see that, go through it with them. But it was great to see his dad be there for him and get to see him hit the buzzer.
Oh man,
You know,
yeah, he
live.
really had an amazing showing tonight.
Yeah.
He kind of, I liked how he sort of rolled off of the edge, not off the edge, but out of the dismount on the razor's edge. You know, he had a good showing on that. Skipped a lot of the pegs on the ring jump. Manages to finish in 3 minutes 47 seconds. Yeah, really just getting it done.
Yeah. Well, see, and what proved to be important for getting through the ring jump is to skip pegs.
Sure.
Because if you're hanging in there for way too long, your arms are going to get really tired, you're going to get fatigued, and it's going to be way more difficult to even get to the I-beam.
Right.
Because that one's insane as it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
So definitely transitioning from each one.
But that theme, and that theme of cancer kind of being a recurring through line, it pops up a few times tonight. You know, we have it with Mike Bernardo's dad. We have it with Sarah Poulin's son Jacob, which is, I'm not even gonna try and put into words how kind of emotionally devastating the story is.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was it was nice that she was able to use that and to be able to compete and have her son's spirit with her.
Exactly. The fact that we saw this footage of him doing these obstacles like as a kid, and the fact that it willed her to to be on the show for him. And it's God, it's so hard to watch. The fact that she got as far as she did obviously is such an accomplishment. But that kind of heartbreak in her face when she went out was,
oh my gosh.
Cool.
Well, I love what Christine Leahy asked her, or just talked to her about, your son would be very proud, and her daughters were there, and they're like, I love you, Mommy.
Right.
So
Definitely.
It's definitely like she showed up. She's gotten through this whole year after everything that she went through, and she's there, and she's living, and that's hard enough,
Right.
So what was nice was that they're raising money to build like a playground, like a ninja inspired playground.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome idea, definitely.
Yeah, and definitely, a fun way to take something so devastating and make it positive.
Absolutely. Now, and that wouldn't be the only time, we talked about Mike Bernardo's dad, we talked about Sarah Palin's son. It also comes up in the story of Annika Nishala, one of those Fantastic Four. She had found a tumor in her arm, ended up getting it removed for cosmetic reasons, but then it turns out that it was cancerous.
How crazy is that?
Right.
So it makes me think, like, was it a very slow growing cancer?
That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Well, then she was very lucky.
Absolutely,
Very
definitely.
lucky. And when she said that when she woke up, her mom said they took more than they wanted to. She looked
And that's scary, yeah, because she is a competitive rock climber, and a very, very high ranking one as well.
Yeah, third in the U.S. championship.
Yeah, definitely.
That is so cool. I just admire people that are rock climbers, like, just in general.
Well, like we've said before,
Crazy.
there's strength and then there's grip strength, and grip strength is so hyper localized, and it's so focused that that's really, really impressive to me as well.
And we were able to see that grip strength, or just upper body strength too, when she climbed herself out of almost falling off of the razor's
yes,
edge.
absolutely.
Yeah. And you could just see her muscles and just everything, like, yeah, and then she did it.
Right, absolutely.
Which is
it's
cool.
similar to kind of how Jelani Allen, the way he saved himself when he was hanging off of that log, right?
Rockstar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's going back to that grip strength. It's again on the ring jump. She can't manage to get that ring over the 10-inch peg on the ring jump, and it's so hard to watch where you see them, attempting it over and over, but the impact of each attempt has got to really wear on the grip.
Well, see, and at that point, you have to get it ascending and then descending. So even ascending, it's difficult. So by the time that people get to the descending one, they kind of think like, okay, maybe I can just jump a little bit. But at that point, your energy is just like shot because there's no way. And then even if you want to try and jump from there, you can't make it to the landing pad.
Right, exactly.
You just can't.
Right, and we saw some people really try to make that far dismount from the middle of the descending series, but as we saw, I can't remember who it was, but someone had tried to make that jump, and they tried to kind of duck their head down so that, because otherwise that track was going to hit them right in the head, and that's what really messed with their landing and put them in the water.
Yeah, I don't know who. Oh, yeah. It was Michael Nowoslawski.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, he was the first one that we saw.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. No, we've talked about 3 of the Fantastic Four. Let's talk about the last one. Let's talk about Michelle Warnke.
Okay. Well, how exciting! So she's the first woman to open her own ninja gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which I was like, you go, girl. I love it when people do that because they take something. I mean, if you even think about when American Ninja Warrior started. People didn't know about it, and then once it started, it was like, okay, cool. And now that people are growing up watching American Ninja Warrior, and people are opening up their own gyms, and it's just like a whole it's more than a family, I
Right.
would say. So
Absolutely.
it was fun to see her do that. She's made it to semifinals 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, like the expectations are up here.
Of course, absolutely,
again.
absolutely. But once again, it's that grip on the ring jump.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's she goes to hop over one of those smaller pegs, one of the 8-inch pegs, and her fingers just peel right off.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked about family. We talked about about family on the course. So we got to talk about her dad, Chris Warnke,
Yeah.
60 years old. I think I could be mistaken. I don't know if there was a father-child pair that has done the course together, right?
For sure, not this season.
Right.
He's not the oldest we've seen.
No, of course he's not John Luby or Rich Talavera. But still, going after the course at 60 years old, nothing to turn your nose up on. Takes a big dive off of that second pane on the razor's edge. Looked like I'm wondering if there's a way, if someone ends up landing on the side of one of those panes, if there's a way that they would be able to save themselves.
You know that pane? The panes kind of remind me of Titanic, the movie. Do you
Okay.
remember?
The door
Rose is
there?
on top. Yeah.
Was it a door?
It was a door.
Okay.
And it's like Jack could have fit on there. So I'm sure there's a way. There's a way to land on it that you won't fall. We have yet to find that. So
Sure.
yeah.
These might be a little different.
Yeah, just a little bit because they're not doors.
Sure.
Yeah. But it reminded me of
I
that.
like where your head's
Thank
at.
you.
I like where your head's
Yeah.
at.
So, but he was a walk-on.
Right.
He stood in line for 2 weeks.
Well,
Well, that's what they said.
are we talking?
I am talking about the right person. Yes.
Who are you talking about?
Chris Warnke.
Michelle Warnke's dad.
Uh-huh.
I might have missed something then.
That they said that.
That he was a
They
walk-on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wonder if they.
I'm gonna trust you.
Okay. Well, I wrote it down. There's no
trust
hearts.
you on this.
Oh dear.
It's a lot of pressure.
Oh, dear.
I'm gonna trust you.
He is 60 for sure.
No, he's 60. If we know anything, we know that he's 60 years
He
old.
fell at the razor's edge.
Right. We got that. God damn it, Mark.
I wrote it down. He is Michelle's dad.
These are long episodes. There's a lot to keep track of.
There are plenty of notes here too. I was gonna say we can make a book.
We could.
That's the season.
I've got notes all over the goddamn place. Don't you patronize me, Mark Donica. Who else?
Anyway,
Who
it
else
was
we
great.
got?
He was fantastic.
Who else we got? Let's talk. You know what? You know
Who?
what? You know what?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
You know who I'm going to talk about?
No.
Who do you think I'm going to talk about?
Why are you putting me in this situation?
Let's talk about the Phoenix.
No, see, we were not on this.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Phoenix. Let's talk about Nadia Richardson. We'll get to that. And believe you me.
Beautiful mustache. Okay.
Let's talk about the Phoenix. He made his very first showing last season and made it all the way to stage 2 in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's wild seeing those showings from rookies and the height that he got on the warped wall. The fact that usually when people, even veterans, when they run up the warped wall, they kind of barely make that grip on the edge. This guy, there was a huge gap underneath his hand, in between his hand and the edge, when he made it up that warped wall last year.
What was cool too is that he really went and trained with the legends.
Right.
Drew Dreshel.
Chris Wilczewski, Jamie Rahn. Absolutely. It's a wide variety of ninjas as well. They've all got their different fortes that he's kind of
learning from.
He's kind of he's learning from, and he's absorbing. Absorbing is the word I was looking for. He's like a ninja Kirby is what he is. Yeah, right? Nintendo fans, get at me.
Okay.
Kirby? No, Kirby?
Ooh, no.
I wish we had the oh hell no soundbite.
Don't have it on this one.
Damn. Kirby was he's not dead, a big pink bubble creature that when he inhaled his enemies, he inherited their powers.
Oh, wait, that's like something from a superhero movie.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, see, I got you.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
So he's learning all these different traits and training with all these different ninjas. The speed with which he made it past the razor's edge was absolutely unreal.
He was pretty fast too.
He skips 4 pegs on the front half of the ring jump, has a huge dismount, manages to finish in 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
There should be some part of YouTube dedicated to American Ninja Warrior and like what you can do in 3 minutes and 28 seconds, or because like I feel like we
show
lose,
him and then just in the corner is people doing things for 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
because we lose track of time, really. Like think about it. 3 minutes 28 seconds.
Do you think I'm curious about this? When you're out there on the course, do you think time slows down or speeds up?
That is a very good question. I say it speeds up.
It's got to speed up,
It's got
right?
to, because I
You
mean,
think you've got so much time, and then all of a sudden 3 minutes have gone by.
and you think, because it's a very difficult balancing act that you have to do. You have to be fast, but not too fast, so that you fall.
Right.
But fast enough that you make it into the, finals.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. To try to do the obstacle course.
Right. Right.
I say this almost every episode. We're gonna try it someday.
It's the secret. You're willing it into existence is what you're doing. So we talked about Michelle Warnke and her kind of opening her own gym. Let's talk about one of her students. Let's talk about Shannon Pagliari. She's 47 years old. We've seen older female competitors, but still, once again, not to take anything away from taking on this course at that age, but not only that, but when she was 30, she had started seeing these kind of neurological symptoms in herself. She's a physical therapist, so I think she might have had some idea of what might have been going on, but it created this condition called foot drop that not a lot of people know about. But it seems like doing this training and training with Michelle Warnke has really has helped with that. We saw that before with ninjas with Parkinson's and other conditions that this training and this exercise really kind of comes into play in staving off those symptoms.
And she was the one that was smiling a lot too.
Huge smile. That was awesome.
She was so sweet, and she was one of those. I think the one that I had in my mind after the rolling log. Right. Yeah. Or even, no, after the floating stuff, like she was trying to hold on, and just like each time that she made it through, it was just like,
Right, exactly.
I did it, okay, cool.
Right.
But yeah, it was the rolling log that took her
It was
out.
the rolling log, absolutely. Who else? Now let's talk, of course, you know. Now let's talk about the Mustache Ninja. Let's talk about Lucio Batista. He's a personal chef from Hopewell Junction, New York.
Okay, that's already super cool. Personal chef,
Sure,
like...
Right.
That's so cool.
But that whole process of how he shapes his mustache, did you write it down?
I didn't write it in super detail, but first he straightens it.
Sure.
He combs it.
Right.
And he parts it. Then there's hairspray.
Right.
And then he blow dries it.
Right. It's a lot. A lot goes into it.
That's more maintenance than my hair. Lately, I'm just like, you do your thing, hair.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
You
It's
do,
dedication.
I'll do me. Exactly.
Because it's an English, this is very important, guys. It's an English mustache.
Right.
Well, try saying that 5 times really fast. That's really hard to say. So it goes like that. And it needs to be
completely straight out to the side. Completely horizontal.
Yeah, and his costume was amazing. And everyone had the
fact
shirts.
the fact that he had a cape. It was pretty awesome.
I want that.
Very, very Snidely Whiplash.
That's what we should be for Halloween.
What?
Mustache Ninja.
There you go.
I have an idea for you.
I dig
now.
it.
There you go.
I dig it a lot. I'll do it.
He also trained with Drew Dressel.
Of course, yeah, of course. There you go.
Yeah.
But once again, we talked about how that 10-inch peg, that extra long peg on the ring jump, gave people trouble, and this was no exception. He has a lot of trouble getting past it. Finally gets past it, but then it's the 8-inch peg that does him in.
And see, what really stinks is he's 6'2", so if he would have gotten to the I-beam, he would have probably just.
It's very true. Yeah, because he's
wingspan.
the same height as James McGrath.
If only.
If only.
But he has his second place best English mustache award.
There you go.
I had to write it down because I was like, wait a second, that's so cool. It's in the National Beard and Mustache competition.
It's very important.
But and
very
so he
important
did
distinction.
fall into the water. But did you see how his mustache was still pretty?
I didn't. I
Pretty
should have
like-
paid attention to that.
It was a little bit sadder, even like as he was going through the obstacle course. But it was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else do we got? Oh, we got to talk about Matthew Guardo, the
Okay.
Pocono Ninja, because this was
yeah.
one of my favorite runs of the night for
Okay.
sure.
Oh.
He loses one of his shoes on the was it the log roller on the rolling log, I think.
After rolling log.
Yeah, and he knows that you can't really make the rest of that course in one shoe and one sock.
Uh-huh.
So he takes off his shoes, takes off his socks, manages to get farther than I would have thought in bare feet. He manages to make it past the razor's edge, but it's that second half of the ring jump that does him in.
Yeah. Well, what was cool is that his daughter is training for American Ninja Warrior.
Right.
Notice they said she's not old enough, but she's
Not
already
old
training.
enough yet. Yeah, not 21 yet, but training to compete.
And she was the one who inspired him. And
Right, and he's doing this course at 54 also, and not just one of the older ninjas, but also kind of one of the smaller ninjas at 5'6", 157. You know, he's up against a lot
Yeah.
on this course.
Yeah.
But you know, he's one of the smaller ninjas. Let's talk about the giant ninja. Let's talk about John Alexis Jr. 6'5".
my gosh.
6'5", 3-time ninja veteran. He manages to make it to the I-beam gap, doesn't make it across, but it's enough to land him in the top 30 to get him to the Cleveland City Finals.
Oh wait, NASCAR.
Oh, we had a few NASCAR ninjas.
Yeah. So
There's a lot of crossover nowadays between NASCAR and American Ninja Warrior. We had Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Well, first we had Ryan Blaney, of course, who was out on the razor's edge.
Yes.
But then we had Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was out on the rolling log last year.
was he the? Yeah. Yeah. He was the one that had problems with logs. Right? No.
No,
that was someone else.
Yeah, who was
Oh,
that?
oh,
That was PJ
PJ.
Walsh. That was PJ Walsh.
That's,
I did like
Matt's
that.
BFF.
I liked that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Eisman's BFF. Yeah, he keeps losing on these log-based obstacles. Manages to beat the log roller, but then just right around the corner, razor's edge, sends him into the water. But so so Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also out on the rolling log, out on the second obstacle last year.
And his girlfriend's Danica Patrick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
what? That's so cool.
Yeah.
And she was watching from home. Yeah, he did fall at the ring jump.
Yeah.
That'll
do it.
I mean,
That'll-
those pegs, man. I tell you.
That'll do it. But the fact that he made it that far for a kind of quote unquote crossover athlete to make it that far is still pretty impressive.
Was he's like one of the, okay, how do I say this? As far as NASCAR drivers, he's the furthest. Like, he was the one that got the furthest along, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
kudos
it's pretty
to
impressive.
him. Kudos to him.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much it. That's our show. That's our show. We will, at least I will be back here. Same bad time, same bad channel. Talking about the Denver qualifiers. You, sadly, will not be with us next week.
Just for next week, I will not be
For
here.
next week. No.
Guys. Thank you. There's no one here. That's okay.
Don't you tell them. Oh, everyone, hang on. She didn't mean you.
No.
You can't take him that far. You can't part the kimono that much. Yeah. Yeah, I said it. Nobody's nervous.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to be here next week. I am part of the editing team with AfterBuzz that's going to San Diego Comic-Con.
There we go.
The crowd goes wild.
Absolutely,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
but
But I will be here. Our longtime cohort Chris Howard will be returning later on this season, so look forward to that. But remember, once again, if you're on iTunes, comment, download, subscribe, review, rate. 5 stars if you're nasty. If you're on YouTube, thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff. You know what? Do both. watch us in video form and then listen to us while you're working out or while you're driving or something.
At the same time, if you turn off
At the
the
same-
volume
At the same
to the
time.
YouTube.
Exactly,
channel.
exactly. We always start the show with a little party, so that's always fun.
That is true.
It's very visually appealing.
Yeah.
But yes, please join us next week when we're talking about the Denver Qualifiers. But for
Yeah.
now, Amy Cassandra, where can they find you?
Instagram, Twitter, @AmyCassandra_TV. I'm gonna try to sneak in some footage from San Diego Comic-Con. We'll see what I can get. Not there, AmyCassandra.com.
What other after shows you on?
World of Dance.
You got it.
This one.
Uh-huh. This one,
I
yes.
gotta go by the day, because if not, I get confused. Daytime Divas and Wrecked.
There you go.
Lots of good TV
Lot on your plate.
shows.
Lot on
I'm
your
so
plate.
excited.
Mark Donegan, where can they find you?
This took me off guard. You can find me on Twitter @MarkVDonica. I do a lot of the wrestling stuff. I do an anime show on Mondays, and as
Ooh.
well as stuff for Popcorn Talk Network, our sister show.
Mark's a very, very cool boy. He's one of my favorite boys.
I do the animes and the wrestling. The coolest kids watch those.
One of the coolest.
Of course.
Mark, he will not be there tomorrow, but he usually is manning the 1s and 2s for the Lucha Underground after show, which you can catch me on tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. You can also catch me on the American Grit after show at 8 o'clock tomorrow night with Lem Gonzalez, with TK Trinidad, with
Hey.
Yvette Sanchez, and also if you're in SoCal, you can find me on Sundays.
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Championship
time?
Wrestling from Hollywood every second fourth Sunday of the month. It's completely free. Check those local listings. I wasn't planning on putting a plug in there, but
Step it up, Ty.
I'm so used to it.
Well, people
Guys,
don't know.
find me online @TyMatthewsPMA. Join us next week. We'll talk Denver. We'll talk ninjas. But until then, peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye, you
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.